Tuesday, December 16th. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. Today on the show, a food and culture conversation with the folks from Edible Newfoundland and Labrador, that whole community. We're going to talk fall issue, winter issue, and a big old chat, cutting boards and meat. And more, too, because we'll have a chat with in Bonavista about baked goods. We'll hear from the publishers of the magazine, you name it, a big old food and culture chat. Marsha Tulk is back. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tell me, give us the update on Edible Newfoundland and Labrador.
We're doing really well. We're on issue number 11 now as of this winter's issue. The fall issue was all about, well, it wasn't all about food. It was a little bit of food and a little bit of small business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were kind of focusing more on small business.
Yeah, I like it. I like the range of, because it's like when I say food and culture, right? Like that touches small businesses, it touches everything. And when we think of the province of that food culture side of things, from the artisans to restaurants to butchers, folks making things. There's such a range of a cultural conversation you can have around things. What's it been like putting these together, like finding the stories, getting the photography done, and the responses?
I think they're doing really well. Now, I don't collect the stories.
No,
myself.
exactly.
Sara
You're
and
one of
Dave,
the contributors,
editor.
Yeah.
For myself, it's been great. Like, I'll just email Sara and Dave and say, what's the theme this time? And they'll just say, can you do something on bone marrow? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Which is, the latest issue, right? It's got marrow on the front.
Yeah, moose bone marrow.
Yeah, briefly tell us about it before I go to everyone else here.
All about how people kind of screw their nose up at talking about bone marrow, but everybody is into it now, the bone broth thing, and how beneficial it is to eat. And I have 3 recipes in there for spuma, bone marrow spuma 3 ways. It's mortadella, the little ends that you cut off because they're ugly.
Yeah.
So it's that and some cream and some roasted bone marrow, and you whip it all together. And then you can either have it as a spread, or you can do it in your eggs in the morning for breakfast, or you can have it as a pasta filling.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I love bone marrow. I've only had it a couple of times. It's always on my list of wanting to have more of it. So my wife and I were on vacation in Paris earlier the year and got to sit down and just have some really good bone marrow, and it was quite the thing.
And it's so easy. It's all so easy. I mean, any kind of bone broth, bone marrow, it's stick it in the oven, roast it, and and a new thing that I saw was you can brulee it. You can put a little bit of brown sugar on it, and then you have like the salty, sweet bruleed bone marrow. Really good.
I need to have some moose bone marrow because I have not had it yet. So
it's good.
It's now on my list. All right, I'll introduce everyone else. Steve Canning is here, owner and butcher from Newlander Meat Shop in CBS. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Adam?
Good. So tell folks just a bit about the meat shop in CBS and how things are going.
They're going great. We opened up the shop in October 2022. So, we're going into our 4th year now, and we couldn't be happier. The support that we've been receiving from the community and outside of the community has been fabulous. And, we're just having a great time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's from start to kind of building up that customer base, like how have things kind of evolved and what's in demand?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started, like any business, I mean, you really don't know what to expect. The community's kind of got behind us. We kind of bring the community in on a lot of what we do. In regards of some of the recipes we do with sausages and stuff, well, we receive some of those from actual clients of ours, our customers.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
So someone might have their own bratwurst recipe that their father had from years ago. That he worked in Germany as a butcher.
Yeah.
We're doing one this week for a customer. We do our own boerewors, but they, depending on what part of South Africa you're from, it might be a little different, right? So they have something that they wanted us to do for them, and we kind of customize things for them like that, right?
Yeah.
But in regards to the change, certainly, as time goes on, we try to do different things every week. we're adding, like, whether that's a sausage or some kind of popper or a skewer or anything like that. So we're constantly trying to evolve, keep things fresh, and obviously, because it keeps people coming back to, right?
Yeah, of course.
I kind of compare it to like craft breweries, releasing different beers and stuff like that, right? So all of a sudden your favorite brewery has a different beer out, well, you're more inclined to go and try that out, right? So we kind of use that same concept at the shop too, right?
Well, and like with that, the customer base, the client base, like the trust factor of wanting more, and then even if it's sometimes you're like, hey, why don't you try this? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay. I never thought of trying that before, but I will because they're used to you and they're buying from you and you've got that relationship.
100%. And like Marsha was just talking about bone marrow. I mean, that's something that we didn't grow up with, right? A lot of cuts, beef cheeks, different things like, oxtails and bavets and stuff. We didn't hear about this stuff growing up, right? I mean, we wanted to get any kind of protein. We had to go to the supermarkets and see it. There was some certainly butcher shops and still are there. Holidays and stuff like that's been around forever. And in the town where I'm from, CBS, I mean, back 50 years ago, there was a butcher in every community, probably 3 or 4. It was a pretty big town for raising animals and different things. And so, but like I say, now, like, with the butcher shops coming up, and I'm sure Will could talk about this as well, like people are coming in and trying these new items, and especially like, something that's featured in a magazine like Marsha's, like it's intriguing people to try new things, right? So,
Yeah.
and we're seeing that a lot, like, so we're kind of we're not steering away from obviously the ribeyes or the strip loins or the tenderloins, but we're saying, hey, try this Denver steak, try this ossobuco, try these different cuts. And,
I love it.
Because they all have their place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you take a night like last night, there would be nothing more comfortable to sit down with a beef cheek stew and relax, right? And these are now available to us, and we should really embrace it and learn about it. And especially like with the social media age and stuff and the influence people are becoming home chefs, right? More so than ever. They're seeing it on their social media, and then they're more intrigued to try it, right? So
100%. I mean, I'm the same way on that. Like I'll see something like, oh, I need to see how this works, right? And then especially if you start to learn that you can get it when, like in the past, maybe you couldn't. So we'll bring William Dray into this. So which do you prefer to go by now? Because I know your full name is William, but is it Bill or Billy or Will? Which do you prefer, or is it all of it? I knew that. I had a conversation about that earlier. I was like, which do you go by now?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with Will for today. Tell us about Anderson's downtown, because like it's we've chatted before, but how are things going?
Good, great, man. We're really blessed. A lot like Newlander as well, where we have excellent customers who support us every day. We show up. Our employees are everything. We're nothing without the employees. So our employees and that customer base is a real synergy. Yeah. And we just kind of work with each other. We try to source things that people want. Like you said, strip loins, ribeyes, and tenderloins, kind of regulate the market. But, we're doing, bavettes and some ossobuco and skirt steaks, hanger steaks, ranch steaks, trying to sell the whole animal.
Yeah.
Because, the market is wild right now. Beef prices are at an all-time high, and it's showing no point of slowing down. People love beef. Supply's low, demand's high, so we're just rolling with it, man. Loving every day, and just really, really blessed that the customers that we have that show up every day,
So then, with the rising beef prices, it makes me think of when I first went to South Korea in my early 20s, and so what you would get in a lot of the Korean cuisine. So anything from like pig's feet on the pork side of it to like beef would be for a special occasion, but it would be different cuts of like including like intestine for certain things, because this was the culture kind of coming out of the Korean War, how things evolved. And now you got folks looking for different ways of like, hey, what else can we have that might be a little bit cheaper, cost friendly, or using the whole animal, as opposed to through the 90s and the early 2000s for some of this. Is that like some of the stuff you're seeing?
Definitely. Yeah. Like, I think people are much more conscious with with what they consume. Yep. I think that's across the board, not just with meat. I think that when people are consuming things now, they like to know where they come from and what they're contributing to in terms of like sustainability.
Totally.
You got to use the whole animal.
Yeah.
Like it's a living being that was, processed, and we're consuming it, so you should do it justice and honor the animal and eat the whole thing. So we try to do our best to get it all and to try to sell it all.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get back to some of the meat small business chat. I want to bring Karen Thorp into the conversation. Karen's Woodworking from Portugal Cove. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
So tell us about. I mean, we talked meat now, woodworking, cutting boards, but tell us about your business and where it came from.
I retired from the RCMP in 2009 and needed to reinvent myself because I felt that I was a little bit too young to just sit around. So I was crafty, so I thought I would start doing woodworking, and within a year or so, I started my business. And since then, it's grown dramatically, and over the last couple of years, very well, and very humbling, actually.
So describe some of your products. I was looking at them in the mag. I mean, it's gorgeous work.
I only use domestic and exotic hardwoods. So I import most of my wood from Nova Scotia, who brings it in from actually Montreal area. And they're the ones that do the proper documentation to bring the exotics into the country.
Right.
So it's all kiln dried, it's properly processed, it's sustainable. So there's no clear cutting or anything else. So the colors that you see in my product are the natural colors of the woods. I don't use any paint, stains, dyes. The only thing I use on it is food grade mineral oil, and the glue that I use is food grade and water resistant.
Right on.
So.
How, when you kind of, you're switching careers, right, and you start something, how do you start to find out, oh, I'm good at this, this is working, and I'm building something?
I think it was just more of, I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
So because of my previous career as a traffic analyst and as a police officer, so I wanted to do something that would bring happiness and pleasure to people. And, along with these gentlemen here with their butcher shops, I'm finding that a lot of people have now gotten into charcuterie and entertaining that way.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm seeing charcuterie every second on social media. Maybe it's just my algorithm.
Could be.
But there seems like there's a lot going on in town.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I sell boards that are very small to, giant boards that are, 24 by 38. That are 2 inches thick that want to be a statement piece, for a restaurant or whatever.
Cool.
And like I said, it's all the natural woods. So there's people that have come and said, okay, I want this board. And they fill it up, send me pictures, and said that as they were entertaining that night, that people kept wanting to eat because they wanted to see what the whole board looked like at the end, right? So,
You don't get much of a bigger compliment than that.
No.
Right? Like, that's pretty great.
Yeah, definitely.
So then how does, when you're launching this type of a business, how do you kind of start to get business come? I mean, word of mouth, I'm sure. But then what else are you trying to do? What are you doing?
Between social media, so I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. My main area that I sell from is the farmer's market.
Yeah.
I'm usually set up there every single weekend, and I will do, especially this time of year, any other market that I can. And actually, unfortunately, this Thursday, I was supposed to do one for the Merrymakers, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, I was so busy last weekend that I literally have to spend this week trying to restock because I sold out of everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, it's like, oh, it's too bad I can't make it, but also I sold out my product. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
What's the time process for putting these things together?
Most of it is about 3 days.
Okay.
Unless I'm doing like a butcher block end grain, then that could take me up to a week to 10 days.
Right. So what do you have to think for a butcher block? Like, what does it take to make, what do you have to think about for making that for someone?
It depends on the wood that they want, because I will do some that are just the regular maple, walnut, cherry, the domestic hardwoods. And then I have other people that would rather have the exotics that are mixed in with it. So they want that splashy yellow or the red or, Paduke, the purple heart. They want that little bit of color. So I have to think of when they're ordering the board as to what they want. And I'll ask them if they want a color or if they want it plain. And I design every single board that I make is one of a kind. So you can order a board and that nobody else is going to have it.
Right. I mean, that makes it awfully special.
Yeah.
And and I'm looking at the butchers here too. So like when you have a butcher block, like, so if someone's buying one, what do you have to think about when you're, taking care of this thing and upkeep for butcher blocks?
They're pretty utilitarian for me. Yeah. So something like a nice solid piece of maple, which, is pretty kind of like maybe like boring. Yeah. But because you're using it so much, a lot of it is like, making sure it's clean. Yeah. Now, wood is like pretty good to keep clean. People would argue plastic actually harbors more bacteria, like polyurethane boards. I mean, that's an argument to be made. But for the most part, with my experience, just keeping it clean, salting it. I salt it to dry it out. And then every now and then, if you need to, shave off some mills off the top and then treat it with like food grade mineral oil, something like that. That's really it for me.
So then for you, do you like, is it when you first get it that it's like, oh, look at this is great? Or is it once you start to really get the life and the use of it that you start to
like if you use it enough, or you're pounding like scallopini, or if you're cleavering, like you'll develop like a groove actually in the wood. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen those before. Like, okay, wow, there's been like a lot of work.
Oh, you're just like either like pounding like, cutlets or whatever, or chopping with like a cleaver. That's pretty much like what I would use it for mostly, is like cleavering, stuff like that.
Steve, what about yourself?
Yeah, we actually have one in the shop that's over 100 years old. A good friend of mine, his grandfather was a butcher in CBS, and they gifted his butcher block to me when we opened the shop. And I tell you, like Will just mentioned, you could see the ingrain where he stood basically, and he was a shorter man, so it's kind of short. It's too short for me, right? Yeah. Even though we have used it, when we were butchering our moose and stuff like that. But they're fantastic, and we were talking earlier, like, these things heal themselves too, right? If you just take care of it, and again, use the oil in different things, and sometimes you might have to shave it, but there's guys, especially, back in the day, that's what they used. And they'd be, you're using cleavers on it and so on and so forth. And you think you chop it in half, but, they eventually heal, and, it don't take a whole lot of maintenance to keep them. We use more of the poly boards, obviously, in the shop. That's what, the inspectors like to see and stuff like that, right? Yeah. But they're fabulous. And they're a work of art. They're absolutely a work of art. And like Karen was saying, like, just different, every piece of wood is different, and all the grains are different, and they're just there's no better way to present like a nice tomahawk steak,
of course,
on a butcher block and cutting board, right?
I always like, and I talk about this a fair bit on the show, I like thinking about time and place. If you have something that's like 100 years old, that was a butcher block, and you're like just thinking of all the work for over the years that someone's put into it, and like as like the world is turning, right? So all the events that are going on in the world, and someone's just there working every day, and now that continues and it's part of your shop, or then you have something that's brand new that has a life that's unique, and it's like, well, who does this go to, and what's that creation? And if it's, and especially like as Karen's saying, like something special, then it gets kept and maybe handed down to someone or given to someone else. And then you just think of these items that have so much, I don't know, it's the ghosts of people in the past or personality around them. Marsha, wondering, we're going to go to a call now, but the Lovely Grand Bake Shop in Bonavista. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the article in the fall issue, right?
Yeah, it's in the fall issue number 10. No, sorry. Yeah, number 10. Yeah. It's a gorgeous shop. I don't know. Everything is just so good. You walk in and you just want to eat everything. It's a beautiful spot just to hang out. Valerie's lovely. She made this beautiful space where you can. I can see why it fits into Bonavista so well with this revival of all of the houses in Bonavista. I think she was in decorating, interior design, and that before, and you can certainly see it in her space. And she's certainly made a name for herself there. It's fantastic, and I'm so glad that they decided to do an article on her business.
Yeah, and it was Johnny C.Y. Lamb, Canadian photographer based in Bonavista. Yes. I know him through social media, and he's done Globe and Mail work, and super talented person. Yeah. And also really nice. And with the text back and forth, he's really nice so far. So let's go to Valerie Ryan on the phone. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you today?
Good. So how's everything? How's everything at the Lovely Grand Bake Shop, Bonavista?
Oh, the Lovely Grand is doing very well. We've just reopened for the holiday season. welcoming all members of our community to come back and join us for some special treats and indulgences for Christmas season.
All right, tell me about these special treats for the holiday season.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're very well known. We have some specialties at the bake shop that people enjoy, and one of them is our cream scones. So for every season, we typically change things up, seasonally based on fruits, and, fall season we'll have pumpkin spice and things like that. And right now our feature is gingerbread white chocolate scones. We just haven't been able to keep them in the bake shop.
Oh, amazing.
And their scones are huge.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of some of them here. Yeah, they look excellent. Tell me about the start of your business and how, because you were away, right? And then
I was.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
Well, I'm originally from Bonavista, as is my husband. I actually moved here when I was in grade 7 from St. John's. And we raised our children in Nova Scotia. Kind of had a hobby farm lifestyle. I was an interior designer from home who also sold cookies, believe it or not. I know those things seem like paths that wouldn't cross, but funny enough, it was my selling cookies and having people pick things up in my home that inspired my design business. My husband and I were renovating older homes and selling them for ourselves. And basically people within the cookie and baking community asked me to start helping them with their properties, and it just kind of snowballed from there. We had a summer place here in Bonavista. We've always felt so drawn to Bonavista and this community. And our kids were 20-something, graduated university. Of course, the pandemic happened. And we spent a lot of time here. My husband was working from home. We were one of those fortunate families. And just decided to, make that leap. It started with me opening the Lovely Grand Home, which is a home decor and design store, coincidentally just right across the street from the Lovely Grand Bake Shop.
Amazing. For the decorating of it, because I know Kate Golding is in this piece too. Tell us a bit about some of the decorating.
Oh, well, that's the fun part always, of course, because that was where my background was. And Kate and I came together, and we were actually friends from the jump. The moment we met, she walked into my store before they had relocated to Bonavista. We kind of moved here about the same time and became fast friends. And then when the project of the bake shop came up, I could not think of a better person to collaborate with. Kate understands my aesthetic and my design vision, and I appreciate hers as well. We made suggestions back and forth and came up with this custom wallpaper that is featured in the bake shop. It just makes the whole place sing. She is a darling person, and I'm so lucky to work with her on this project.
Yeah, right, because Kate does wallpaper design out of Bonavista. That's Kate Golding. When you have a shop that you set up like this, you've got your ideas, and we're all having like this small business discussion here today on the show, intersections of food, culture, artisanship. There's what you have in your mind, and then there's, what reality is once you open. And was that, did those things match for you once you got everything up and out and the baked goods started going out and you were building up your clientele? Did that match your earlier thoughts, or did things evolve?
Things definitely evolved. We have pivoted quite significantly since we opened the bake shop. Initially, we had hoped to just be able to survive off doing baked goods and light lunches. We have expanded our menu to include dinner as well now. The demand was there, but also we just realized that in the off season, the clientele for just baked goods and running solely a coffee shop was not necessarily here. So like with every small business, your most frequent word used in your vocabulary is often pivot and add, change, evolve.
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
Anything else before I let you go around the Christmas season or the look ahead for you folks at the lovely Grand Bake Shop in Bonavista?
Oh, just basically, I'd love to let everybody know that we're so happy to see all your lovely faces again now that we've reopened for the holidays. That we will be open starting this Thursday up until Tibbs Eve with all your favorite things that we carry in the bake shop. And we are having some local concerts at the Garrick this weekend. Tim Baker Thursday evening, and then Rum Ragged Saturday evening, and we will be serving dinner those evenings before both shows.
Amazing. I mean, that all sounds spectacular. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Adam.
Cheers. Valerie Ryan there, the lovely grand bake shop, Bonavista. You know, get some scones, right? Listen to some Tim Baker, have a bite to eat, right? What more do you want?
Nothing better.
Right? Pretty good. So Valerie was talking about pivot. So I'm looking at all the small business operators here in the studio. What are some of the things that you've kind of run into, business-wise when it comes to the pivoting?
Oh, it's constant.
Yeah. You're like every day.
It is.
Yeah.
Personally, when I crossed back, we were down at the farmers market. I started very small, just me and another guy doing like a business that ended up dissolving. And so you pivot, then you take the mistakes that you made, you learn from them, and you do something else, and then you fail, and then you do it again. But pivoting constantly because things change.
Yeah.
COVID for me was a huge one. It was like basically it went from 100 to 0. It was like no one's allowed to come in the store, curbside pickup, figure this out. Yeah. And so that was a big one. And ever since then, it's just, there's no stopping. I find if you stop, you're like in dead water. So you just need to get over what's going on and figure out what's next by pivoting. So it could be anything from, I couldn't get X, or like there was a purveyor or supplier. Like one thing for us was local farms that shut down. You know, we were going from getting local pigs every week to no local pigs,
Right.
And that was, a huge blow. So we had to pivot. We had to try to source the best pork that we could source. And where do we get that? Where do we go? And what does that look like? So constantly. And then you start to get employees and you have to pivot. Maybe an employee's come and gone, or another opportunity comes, or whatever, So for me, it's constant. Every day with the business is pivoting.
Yeah, especially that difference between if it's locally sourced or then if you have to all of a sudden look beyond the island, because then it's shipping, right? Like you got to get, stuff has to arrive, and it's different than the face-to-face meeting or whatever, or just what you can know about folks because we're in Newfoundland and Labrador compared to beyond and having to make those relationships. And then there's and cost factors as well, I'm imagining.
Oh, big time, man. The boats aren't running, food's not coming. That's just and that's a reality for everyone. Yeah. That's not just us.
No, I mean that's why it looks like The Walking Dead sometimes in the produce section of any grocery store.
Yeah. It's I think the tide's changing though, and that's not to undermine people that are doing it here as well. I'd just like to state that it's like there are people here doing amazing things, and they're to be nurtured, and that's just it, right? It's like I think that being a small business and pivoting, like a little bit of decisions that you make need to be like about like the community at large and like where's this going, right? Yeah. Kind of get a conversation going and use like the people that support you as a learning experience to like grow that, and how can we do it better?
Yeah.
In the summertime when I did the article on all the butcher shops across Newfoundland and Labrador, that was an eye opener for me, and just to see how much was out there. But then you hear other stories, like I heard just last week, a farmer in the Gould's who raises beef, but he doesn't sell any beef in Newfoundland. He ships it all off island.
Oh,
because he can get more money by shipping the animals whole off island instead of having it stay here on the island, which confused me, and it still kind of confuses me.
That's really interesting.
But as a farmer, they're trying to get the maximum price for their product.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the island is just not it.
Yeah.
Like people are paying a premium, I guess, because beef is, the demand is up, and he can get more for his product off island, so he ships it all off.
Wow.
So, and then you guys are shipping it on, which
I got beef that the boats never ran the last 2 nights, right? So they're hopefully going to run tonight, and I got quite a bit of beef that's sitting there hoping to get across.
No way.
And we had to deal with this last Christmas. I mean, with the weather and stuff, right? We had all this prime rib, and beef is a product. We're bringing that in, and you're kind of looking in towards the future. This is why ordering early is so important, right? And so we can prepare and so on and so forth, right? But last year we had to pivot in regards of what was available to me was tomahawks, and we were like cutting the bones off. It was breaking our hearts, but what do you do? And the customers really are understanding too. Like at the end of the day, we live on this island, and our food comes, mostly by a boat. And the weather, especially like you take last night, like this, it's pretty common this time of the year.
I thought my house was going to blow down last night. Like I did not sleep much. We're down in Kitty Vitty, and the house was shaking. And the only comfort I took last night was looking out the window, seeing the other houses still there in the dark after the power went on. I'm like, well, if they're still here, there's hope for mine. No one has blown away yet. And then when you're thinking of, because ships aren't going, right? Like it's not happening. So like this is it. This is where we are. Whatever's here until it calms down. So like you said, maybe today ferry does a run, trucks get on the road, and they bring product.
Yeah. So I'm scheduled to get it by Thursday. So we'll see.
Like I cannot articulate how much I'm feeling for him right now. Like it's hard if you've never been in this position. Yeah. It's really hard to quantify how stressful that could be, man. Honest to God. Yeah. Like, bulk of what we do is this time of year. And to be dependent on that, I think it just like creates a bigger dialogue, how can we kind of like mitigate and minimize this where, we could get a similar product, but here, that's my question. I don't have all the answers, but I'm here to have that dialogue, like him waiting for that to come across. And here's the thing, last night I talked, the waves were 64 feet high, and the winds were registered at 168 kilometers out at sea last night. Yeah. So there's also times where in here and land, it seems fine, but the boats aren't moving because the seas are so bad, right? So it's just that, waiting for that anticipation at such a monumental time of year.
100%.
And then you throw on top of that, you got to get feed coming in. Then also droughts out west, or like not enough feed for the cattle there, driving the beef price up. And you're here like looking around trying to source product. And then there's a ferry delay, and then you're wondering like why there's such a headache for doing stuff and for small businesses in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Absolutely.
Well, here we go. This is part of it, right?
I couldn't find parsnip this year. I got one farmer.
You couldn't find parsnip in Newfoundland.
Find a farmer that I found one guy in Portugal Cove.
It's like all we got is root vegetables.
Yeah, I know, that was supposed to be our thing.
All we got is root vegetables.
No, one guy.
And why? Because
the water shortage.
Yeah, the drought.
Yeah, the drought conditions. They it just didn't grow. Yeah.
And now my insurance is going up on my house.
Yeah. Right. Like it's all there, right? Yeah. Karen, what about yourself with pivoting when it comes to businesses?
I realize that with the economy, that people are struggling as to what they want to spend their dollars on. So in my case, it was okay. How do I keep my costs as they have been for the last couple of years, and yet still try to make some dollars? So this last year, I decided to take my scrap wood that I had a bonfire with last year in January and decided to make my little whale tails that are wine stoppers and bottle openers. And I've always been doing the herb strippers and stuff like that. But this is even smaller pieces. And it has been extremely successful this year. And it reaches a price point that somebody can't, not everybody can afford a board that's $150 or $300, but they'd like to have a little piece of my woodwork. So the wine stoppers are $20.
Yeah, I mean, I have one of your herb strippers, gorgeous, right? So, and when I was looking in the bag, I'm like, ooh, and now like wine stoppers and like for the openers, like for the whale, and it's like it's a beautiful little whale tail. I mean, and it's just such a smart thing to, do when you're looking at, well, I've got all this extra wood, and then you have something that's a beautiful looking product that you're putting out, which is just so smart.
Thank you. With that as well, like people are like, oh, well, I don't drink wine or whatever. I have mine sitting in my olive oil bottle next to the stove.
Right.
Because as you're cooking and your hands are messy and whatever, you don't want to be trying to unscrew it all and whatnot. Just pop it off, pour up your oils. And there's people that have different oils that they cook with. It's not just your regular canola oil or olive oil, whatever. There's, chili oil or garlic oil or whatever. So you can have different stoppers for each one and just pop them off and pour them up. I had a bride that had actually bought them for bottles and filled them up with bubble bath to give to her bridesmaids that weren't from here.
Nice idea.
You know, so it's for a bottle, not necessarily a wine bottle.
No. And then, like, as you do that, like, because you've been doing this for a bit and, you know, you're looking at this new way to go, like, okay, we're doing the whale tails and something. How do you then kind of market or put that? Is that just on social media, or what are you doing to get attention to these things?
It was just social media.
Right.
And I have a couple of stores in town. The Craft Council is one, and Wild Things downtown that carry a lot of my product. Outside of town is Bonavista, the Matthew Legacy, Gander Airport. There's Molly Maid up in Northern Peninsula that carried my product. So word gets out, and I'm now getting orders that I've shipped out this week from Quebec, Ontario, BC, Alberta.
Wow.
I had a number of people that are from the south that wanted to order stuff, but due to issues trying to get it through customs and tariffs,
the
it's all being sent
ongoings.
back. So I had to stop shipping to the U.S.
That's really too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just another pivot.
Big
you know,
That's it.
and it's, you know, like this year I hired somebody to, you know, to help me out. And I've got a friend of mine that loves to do the markets on Saturdays, you know, for something to do.
Yeah.
So as a friend, she does it, and, you know, she loves doing it, and it's great. So you just learn to pivot, and the busier I get, the more time I can spend in my shed creating and building. So right now, my wheels are turning as to what new product I'll come up with next year.
Yeah.
Because as people say to me, oh, well, I've got this board and that board, and I got the cheese slicer, and I've got this, and I got that. So what else can I make that'll help you in your kitchen? And I'll ask my customers, what else are you looking for? You know?
Cool.
So I started this year making also bread knives. And those have been extremely popular.
Oh yeah, good old bread knife with the bread cutting board. We've got
Yeah.
one of those at home, and yeah, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
So, what about you guys when it comes to social media? Like, how do you approach? Like, is it Facebook? I mean, I know for Anderson's you guys do Instagram and stuff too because I follow you. But like, what else is it for? How do
And
you
they're
find
like
it?
integrated too.
I mean,
Meta
it's kind
is
of
integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're fortunate enough. We got my brother-in-law, actually, Stephen Green. He's a musician. He has a media company. Great guy.
Yeah.
And he really took the reins on it for me and Eric, Newlander.
Yeah.
He does 90% of the stuff. If you've seen anything on Facebook or,
I have,
or
yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
it's generally him, right?
Oh, nice.
So he'll come in and do some things and advertise, and he's just a wizard with it, right? But it is so important, right?
Yeah.
Because I never had really Instagram, and I wasn't one really a whole lot for the social media thing, Facebook and stuff. But it's really important. It allows us to show people what we're doing that day, what we got coming up in the week, so on and so forth, right? So we try to post as much as we can. These are the items, and we change it like our sausage, for instance. Like we're changing those up pretty well on a weekly basis, right? We have our standard ones that we do every week, but anything new, we generally will try to get it out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. This is what we got coming up, and and a lot of times people see it. It gets people in the shop.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're kind of like I've done it with seafood before too, right? You see, you're on social media, I'm on Facebook or something. It's like, oh God, that looks really good. Oh wait, that's available. Like, in the next couple of days. Oh, Friday's coming. Let's go do that, right?
Yeah.
It just you're putting that thought in someo's mind of like,
100%.
yes, you want this for your
And
Friday.
you gotta have a lot of fun with it too, right? Like we're hoping to do like a little series that, in the new year, probably like some cooking videos and different things.
cool.
I know Will does some of those, right? And people just love that stuff, right? And if you're doing a video, they're probably going to come in and get the product that you're selling to try them themselves, right?
Totally.
So it's very important. Yeah.
What about yourself, Will?
Yeah, exact same kind of sentiment there.
Yeah.
Like, it's also free advertising, it's there. I mean, it's not free, like you're putting the work in.
Yeah.
But I also find it's a great way to just engage with the customers as well. Like you can definitely stimulate them to come down and get your products, but also it's very insightful. Like they'll like maybe say something, or they try something, or they come in and there's like that level of engagement that's very stimulating. Yeah. I also love to try to get any of the staff that enjoy doing it to do it, because I just feel like it's like the more the merrier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not everyone thinks the same, not everyone feels the same, not everyone is the same. So to have people and like to kind of diversify that is really great. Social media is also a tool. So you use it to the best of your ability, and then you just sometimes you hope things land. Like sometimes you post something, it's great, and then the next time you post something, and no one cares.
And you're like, why did that one work? What happened?
It could be the time of day. It could be just the algorithm at that time. Yeah. There's sometimes it doesn't feel like there's rhyme and reason, but it is paramount with the marketing of the business. I mean, you can literally walk someone through items that you have in your shop, and then they can literally go and just watch that and replicate it. Yeah. It's plug and play.
Yeah. It's instant information for them, right? Like, I'm on the way. Do you still have it? Yes, right? So,
exactly.
Again, it's pretty, it's a part of the business. It really is, right? Sometimes we love it, sometimes we don't, because it could be a dark place. And sometimes too, knock on wood, we haven't gone through a whole lot of that.
Yeah, when it's a two-way street, sometimes if it's a lot of oncoming traffic in your direction for a reason that you weren't planning for, you're like, oh.
And sometimes it's all about the information too, right? Like someone, it could be a pricing thing, but it's not all standard, right? Like there's a reason why it's this way, or there's a reason why it costs this much, and trying to get that message across can be challenging too, right? Yeah.
And then there's the tried and true paper.
Absolutely.
Advertising.
Yep.
Right, and it's all in here, and there is advertising in here, and it's. And Marsha, because we'll have the editors on now in 2 seconds, but actually, I'll just ask them, seeing they're the editors. We've got Sara and Dave Snow on the line. How you doing?
Hey there, good.
Good, Adam.
Good.
Good to hear you.
Yeah,
Great
good to have you
show
both
so
back
far.
on. Yeah. So tell me now, where are you two today, anyways?
We are visiting family in Chelsea, Quebec, which is in western Quebec.
Surrounded by 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, very snowy.
Yeah.
There you go. Snow. So looking Christmassy, looking wintry.
It's very, very Christmassy. Yeah, we've got a new grandson, so we're here visiting.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I guess we missed all the stormy weather on the coast over the past 48 hours.
Yeah.
Various
it's been
Canada.
It's been pretty windy. I'll say that much. And then I know Central, like where my folks are, they got dumped on with snow. Gander got dumped on with snow. Same with Corner Brook. I didn't check the weather for Labrador today, but nothing came up in the morning meeting of note that I remember hearing. So if you're listening in Labrador and there's weather, feel free to give us an email, thesignal@cbc.ca. So Sara and Dave, just remind folks about just the passion you have around your magazine.
Well, yeah, I mean, we are really passionate, as you say, about sharing local stories. And I think it was Bill who said, was talking about the importance of nurturing people who are doing things locally. And that's really what we're trying to do with the magazine. So you can't eat it, but we do hope that that spending some time with the magazine feels nurturing.
Yeah, and the passion really comes from our contributors and on the stories that they tell, like Marsha, of course, and Laurie and Richie, and Johnny and everybody who comes to the table, and Ellen, of course, who did Karen's story, which was it was really wonderful listening to everybody, and for us, this time of year is important. It's always important to support small businesses, but at this time of year even more so, and Canadian-made products. I mean, 100%. That's a big part of what we preach as well.
Where can folks find your magazine, by the way?
Well, you can subscribe, but locally you can find them in. You can find them at Anderson.
Yeah, Bill might have some at home. You can just go to his house.
You can find them at.
You can find them at Birdie.
So local food shops like Belbin's, for instance, and
Gayseed, Newlander,
Newlander.
I'm offloading boxes of it to them today. So
excellent.
Marsha's multi-talented. I don't know if you know that, but she does everything.
Oh, I know.
She wears many hats.
I'm chief bottle
and
washer.
she can really smoke some marrow. Let me tell you. Holy moly!
She first treated us to marrow a bit over a year ago, and that's from the cover shot in this issue, and it blew our minds with that.
It was one of the highlights of the Jigs dinner. A nice surprise.
And she.
You just have to go get a moose. That's the hard part.
I love the way. Yeah, that's right. And we love the way Marsha talks about marrow too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her piece, definitely read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous piece. Plus, with the photography, it's mouth-watering. For both of you, you know, what kind of feedback do you get from people? Because you're in the Maritimes and you're also in Newfoundland and Labrador. So, what are you hearing from folks when each time the magazine goes out into the world?
We get great feedback and it's from all directions: emails, phone calls. We'll get phone calls from people to tell us how much they love the magazine and how they can subscribe, which is very common. But we can't be happy enough about the feedback.
It really keeps us going for sure. It's just hearing how much people are enjoying it and look forward to the next issue. And so that means a lot.
Yeah, it really does. Just going back to local, we're big fans at this time of year of giving things that are consumable, because who wouldn't like to get a tomahawk steak underneath the tree? But also a cutting board, a cutting board beautiful cutting board which you use every single day, Exactly. That's a big deal for us. And,
What's the look ahead now for I know we've got the winter issue, but I mean, what's planning for you folks through winter into spring?
Well, for winter, during winter we're thinking about spring, and we have a big issue we're putting together in our minds right now, and the conversation you guys were having earlier is kind of hinting at it in terms of access. So stay tuned.
Security.
We won't divulge too much, but that's really important to us, is people being able to access food, and especially local food.
Just to touch on something you guys were talking about, social media, which is really important for us as well to get the word out about the magazine and our stories. But the magazine itself is a deliberate action for somebody. It's like going into a butcher shop as opposed to ordering it online. When you pick up a magazine, you sit down with it, you're really spending time, and when you see read a great article, and it sticks with you. And from an advertising standpoint, that's a big part of it, which we find is just so different. It's analog, let's call it, compared to what we're all also used to, being forced things on the internet or through your phone. You're actually making a conscious effort to pick up a magazine and spend time with it, which we love to do.
Which gets to the theme of the fall issue, which Karen is in and Valerie is in, and the idea of intention and the intention they put into their work, but also those intentional pivots that they made.
Right.
I'll tell you, it's a lot friendlier on my eyes than just staring at my iPhone all day. This doesn't make me squint, so I think you're actually helping me here as I look through.
We're going to quote you.
Doing our best, Adam.
Right.
Easier on the eyes.
Easier on the eyes, right? Analog. It's so good. Look, the bag's gorgeous. Congrats to both of you, as always, and thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to everybody there who was being a part of it. Couldn't be without you.
So nice to hear all you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, Merry Christmas now. Happy holidays.
Bye, guys. Bye, Marsha.
Bye.
guys. Take care.
All right, Sara and Dave, they're editors for Edible Newfoundland and Labrador. And also, when you turn the cover around, it's Edible Maritimes, right? Because you get 2 in 1.
You get 2
each
in
time
1.
You get one. We had a note come in. Hi, I'm a listener who's, just hearing your program. Your guest talked about taking suggestions for new products. I suggest making a large spice rack that is 1 bottle deep, but can take dozens of spices. Spices must be stored in a dark space, so the spice rack would need doors. I also suggest they be available in white or mahogany and other colors to spec. So there you go. Right? You're looking for ideas? Right? Newfoundland and Labrador culture-wise, when you're a small business, you fit right squarely into that machinery. What do you all think about it when you're operating? Well, so Marsha, I know you do for writing and everything else, but what are your thoughts around where this fits in for Newfoundland and Labrador culture and just the evolution of things?
I think it just highlights the fact that we can evolve our culture.
Yeah.
We have new Canadians coming to the province all the time, and you guys pick up on that with the products that you make.
Yeah.
You pick up on it from suggestions from people. I think putting all of those ideas into the magazine and putting it out there is the evolution of Newfoundland culture.
Yeah.
And being able to write about it is a gift. It really is, and to be able to give people another platform instead of just social media, to be able to put it out there. And I mean, our magazine is free to give out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a guaranteed magazine, because they are really nice to collect, subscribe. Highly recommend it. But we give them out for free, so it's a great way for small businesses to get their name in a publication and say, look, this is our business. We read all about it.
What's before I ask everyone else to keep going with that question, we talked about the marrow. What's a favorite recipe in one of these issues that kind of pops out?
In the fall, I did an article about salmon fishing. And there's nothing better than a salmon that has just come out of the river and it's like 2 hours old.
No, it's magic. Right, magic. Steve, what about yourself when you think about just operating Newlander Meat Shop at CBS, and yourself as a butcher, but the intersection with Newfoundland culture?
Yeah, I mean, our culture, we're a culture that I guess was more into, like when I was growing up, for instance, if you had a steak, it was probably burnt and raw in the middle type.
I remember those. I remember going to relatives' houses.
Laced with barbecue sauce right from the beginning.
I will say Dad was always good, so my parents listen to the show, so they want to make sure I'm not throwing them under the bus. But I have had at other relatives' houses those steaks. Yes. Yeah,
but an example I guess would be we have fun with a lot of the different flavors of the sausage, but a lot of the they just like a plain breakfast pork sausage, right? Yeah. Something that they had, that reminds them from years ago, and we do those, right? So as much fun as you can have, trying new things or trying adding what we call groceries to sausage. Sometimes it's just the plain and simple things that are the best, right? We talk about our beef. People will come in and what should I do or marinate? Just a little salt. That's all you need, right?
All you need is salt.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. So sometimes not that we're that we plainly, I guess, but sometimes simple things are just what you need, like the bone marrow, for instance. Like just that with some toast is just fabulous stuff, right? So keeping things simple, I guess, right? We're simple people in a lot of ways. Even though we're really evolving and trying all these different things and stuff, we just like simple foods. Whether that's, a moose steak or a tur or something like that we're used to having or grew up with, just roasted in a pan like a stew or something like that is really what we love to sell. Someone coming in can we just I'm just looking for some stew meat, right? Yeah. And so as much fun again as we could have with doing different things or trying different things. Sometimes just
still got the basics,
some easy basic things, and then they always work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Will?
Yeah, Newfoundlanders, we're a proud bunch, right? Yeah. We try to walk the line of catering to that and what, the people here consume, as well as try to elevate it a little bit or push ourselves. We're really blessed. We've got people from Sri Lanka, people from Iran, people from the Philippines down at the shop. And, we're experimenting with that stuff and running with that. The simple stuff absolutely sells. That's too spicy. I don't want nothing too spicy. Listen, I got that for you. And if you want something that's really spicy, I got that too. Yeah. My background, where I learned, I kind of fell backwards into this, and I learned in Ontario, very Italian influenced with a little bit of French. And so I got a lot of Italian stuff, but that stuff just seems to be the kind of mainstream anyways. Yeah. So I think for us, it's to tap into what people here like, but also what works here as well, totally. And we're trying to dig deep of maybe things that were happening that we don't really know about. History is weird, things, disappear, but that's what we're trying to do.
There you go. Karen, final word for today. Final thoughts on culture or look forward.
I think of it a lot, especially with the crib boards that I make. There
you nailed it.
Loves a game.
That's perfect. We're going out on crib boards today. We're out of time, everyone. Thank you so much. The signal at cbc.ca if you want to get in touch with us. Tomorrow, there's that fiscal update that's just happened. We're going to break it all down for you tomorrow. I've got a full house coming in to talk about everything fiscal update for the province. Cheers.